Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today not to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. The reason some of you feel lost, frustrated, and unseen is because you've been told a lie that has stripped you of your power, your confidence, and your purpose. And that lie is this: that you must be nice to women in order to be loved. But let me tell you the truth. Niceness is killing your relationships, it's destroying your confidence, and it's leading you down a path of quiet desperation. You see, when a man is too nice, he becomes a shadow of what he was meant to be. He bends, he folds, he pleases, only to be rejected, ignored, or walked over. Why? Because women don't respect nice men. They don't admire them. They don't fall in love with them. A woman doesn't want a man who seeks her approval. She wants a man she can trust. And trust is not built on weakness. It's built on strength, on leadership, on conviction. Look around you. How many men have lost their fire because they thought that being agreeable would win them love? How many relationships have crumbled because men traded their backbone for validation? Being a good man means standing firm in what's right, even when it's hard, even when it's unpopular. And so I call on you today, stop being nice to women. Stop seeking approval. Stop apologizing for being strong. Rise up, lead, stand firm, not with cruelty, not with arrogance, but with purpose. Because the world is not changed by men who are merely nice. It is changed by men who are good. Niceness and goodness are often mistaken for the same thing, but they could not be more different. Niceness is weak, passive, and afraid of conflict, while goodness is strong, firm, and built on truth. A nice man avoids confrontation, tells people what they want to hear, and does whatever it takes to be liked. He thinks that by being agreeable, he will gain affection and approval. But in reality, he loses respect, power, and even the very love he seeks. A good man, on the other hand, stands on principle. He speaks the truth even when it is uncomfortable, makes decisions based on what is right, not what is easy, and leads with conviction instead of following for approval. The world, and especially women, do not admire men who are merely nice. They admire men who are truly good. A nice man, when faced with a difficult situation, will try to keep the peace at all costs. He will suppress his own opinions to avoid offending anyone, and he will sacrifice his own needs in an attempt to make others happy. But this is not love. This is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being alone, fear of conflict. He operates from a place of insecurity, hoping that if he is pleasant enough, agreeable enough, and accommodating enough, he will be loved. But love cannot grow in the absence of strength. A good man does not chase approval because he does not need it. His sense of worth does not come from being liked. It comes from knowing who he is. When he speaks with authority because he has taken the time to develop his mind and his character. When he acts with confidence because he knows he is guided by principles, not by the shifting emotions of the moment. Women may tolerate a nice man, but they will never truly respect him. Respect is born out of strength, and only a man who is willing to stand firm can ever earn it. A nice man apologizes when he has done nothing wrong, hoping to avoid discomfort. A good man only apologizes when he is truly at fault because he values integrity more than approval. A nice man tries to please everyone, and in doing so pleases no one. A good man does what is right, and in doing so earns the admiration of those who recognize strength. A nice man is forgettable, but a good man is unforgettable. Women do not despise kindness, nor do they reject love. But what they cannot tolerate is weakness disguised as goodness. A man who is overly nice, who bends to every demand, who constantly seeks approval, he is not seen as admirable, he is seen as a burden. Women may be polite to such men, they may even keep them around, but deep down they feel nothing but frustration and disappointment toward them. A man who is too nice does not inspire trust because he is unpredictable, unsteady, and easily swayed. A woman may not always be able to put it into words, but she knows when a man is leading and when he is merely following in the hopes of being liked. A woman does not want a man who asks her permission to be himself. She does not respect a man who is constantly afraid of making the wrong move. She wants a man with direction, a man who knows what he wants and is not afraid to pursue it. When a man is too nice, he signals that he values comfort over truth, validation over leadership. He is unable to make tough decisions, and this makes a woman feel unsafe in his presence. She cannot rely on him to take charge because she knows he will hesitate, overthink, and ultimately look to her for guidance. And while society tells men that they must be soft and accommodating to be loved, the reality is that such behavior only breeds disappointment. A woman may tell a man she wants him to be more agreeable, more emotionally available, more considerate of her feelings at all times, but the moment he does this to an extreme, she loses interest. Why? Because no one respects someone who can be controlled. A woman wants to feel protected, guided, and challenged. She does not want a man who obeys her every whim. She wants a man who can tell her no when it matters. She does not want a man who sacrifices his dignity to avoid arguments. She wants a man who holds firm to his values, even if it means upsetting her. This is why being too nice never works. A man who gives too much, who seeks validation, who prioritizes keeping the peace over standing for what he believes in, will always be overlooked. Women may be polite to him, they may appreciate his efforts, but they will never truly desire him, because desire is not born out of comfort, it is born out of strength. Being too nice comes at a cost that most men don't realize until it's too late. It doesn't just affect how women see them, it shapes their entire lives. When a man makes niceness his primary trait, he unknowingly surrenders his power. He allows himself to be overlooked, mistreated, and ultimately forgotten. He becomes a man who is tolerated rather than respected, who is accepted but never admired. And the most tragic part is that he believes he is doing the right thing. He believes that by always being agreeable, avoiding conflict, and making sacrifices for others, he will receive love in return. But what he gets instead is resentment, rejection, and disappointment. A man who is too nice never gets what he truly wants. In relationships, he does everything to please a woman, thinking that his kindness will make her love him more. He listens to her problems, supports her every decision, and never challenges her. But instead of drawing her closer, his behavior pushes her away. She begins to lose interest, treating him as a friend rather than a lover. She may appreciate his efforts, but she does not feel any real attraction to him. Because attraction is not built on endless agreement. It is built on strength, confidence, and a willingness to lead. At work, the too nice man is constantly overlooked for promotions. He works hard, follows all the rules, and never causes trouble. But his career stagnates because he does not stand out. He avoids difficult conversations, hesitates to negotiate for better opportunities, and lets others take advantage of his good nature. Meanwhile, the men who are assertive, who demand respect, who are willing to take risks, those are the men who rise. The nice man watches as others pass him by, confused as to why his efforts are never rewarded. Even in friendships, being too nice is a disadvantage. A man who never sets boundaries, who always says yes when he really means no, who puts others' needs above his own, will eventually feel drained and unappreciated. People will use him for favors, enjoy his presence when it's convenient, but rarely think of him beyond that. He is not valued for who he is valued for what he provides. And when he finally needs support, he often finds himself alone, wondering why no one is there for him the way he was for them. The cost of being too nice is not just the loss of respect, but the loss of identity. A man who builds his life around pleasing others eventually forgets who he is. And the longer he continues, the harder it becomes to reclaim his strength. Real love is not built on endless agreement, blind submission, or the constant pursuit of approval. It is built on strength, truth, and unwavering leadership. Many men today have been led to believe that love means making a woman happy at all costs, that their role is to serve, to please, and to never upset her. But this is not love. This is fear. Love is not about avoiding conflict or sacrificing your own identity just to keep the peace. Love is about standing firm in your convictions, guiding with wisdom and leading with courage. A man who is truly loving does not shy away from difficult conversations, does not hesitate to challenge his partner, and does not bend his principles just to maintain harmony. When a man operates from a place of niceness instead of strength, he may believe he is making his relationship stronger, but in reality, he is creating distance. Women may enjoy being pampered and catered to in the moment, but deep down, they do not feel truly secure with a man who is afraid to say no. A woman may claim she wants a man who always puts her first, who never argues, who always defers to her wishes. But the moment she gets that man, she begins to lose respect for him. A man who cannot stand up for himself, who does not lead with authority, who avoids tough decisions for fear of upsetting his partner, is not a man she can fully trust. Love requires boundaries. It requires discipline. It requires a man who is not ruled by his emotions, but by his values. A woman does not want a man who is weak in the face of pressure, who agrees just to avoid an argument, who sacrifices his masculinity in exchange for temporary approval. She wants a man who challenges her when she is wrong, who makes decisions with confidence, who stands firm when it matters. She may resist at times, she may argue, she may even push back, but deep down, she respects a man who does not fold. A man who truly loves does not seek approval, he seeks truth. He does not hesitate to correct, to protect, to guide. He does not make decisions out of fear, but out of wisdom. Women may tolerate niceness, but they do not admire it. They admire strength, they admire conviction, and above all, they admire a man who does not compromise who he is for the sake of being liked. Because true love is not found in weakness, it is found in strength. A man's worth is not determined by how agreeable he is, how much he pleases others, or how well he conforms to expectations. His worth is rooted in his ability to lead, to stand firm, and to live with purpose. Yet many men today have been deceived into believing that their role is to be passive, to wait for direction, to avoid confrontation, and to make themselves as inoffensive as possible. They believe that by being nice, they will be accepted, appreciated, and valued. But this approach only leads to frustration and failure. A man who seeks approval above all else becomes forgettable, uninspiring, and ultimately unfulfilled. A man who lacks purpose is a man who drifts. He is easily swayed by the opinions of others, constantly adjusting himself to fit what he thinks people want. He does not pursue his own goals with passion because he is too preoccupied with avoiding rejection. He hesitates. He second guesses, and he waits for permission to take action. But a man who is truly masculine, who embraces his purpose, does not wait for approval. He moves forward with conviction. He knows what he wants, and he is willing to work for it, fight for it, and if necessary, stand alone in pursuit of it. This is why being too nice is a dangerous trap. A man who is constantly seeking validation from others, especially from women, will never reach his full potential. He will always be limited by the fear of disapproval. He will hold back his true thoughts, suppress his real desires, and settle for less than he is capable of achieving. He will shrink himself to fit into the mold of what he believes others want, rather than expanding into the man he was meant to be. True masculinity is not about aggression, arrogance, or domination. It is about direction, discipline, and unwavering strength. A man with purpose does not beg for respect. He commands it through his actions. He does not seek to be liked. He seeks to be effective. He does not sacrifice his identity for temporary comfort. He builds his life on principles that stand the test of time. And when he lives this way, he naturally attracts respect, admiration, and even love. Not because he is trying to please, but because he is living with undeniable purpose. A man who leads with strength and conviction does not need to be nice to be loved. He only needs to be true to himself, to his mission, and to the path he was meant to walk. The time for being nice is over. The time for seeking approval, avoiding conflict, and bending to the expectations of others must come to an end. A man's worth is not found in how agreeable he is, but in his strength, his purpose, and his ability to lead. Women do not desire weakness. They do not respect men who seek their validation at the cost of their own integrity. They are drawn to men who stand firm, who know who they are, and who refuse to compromise their mission for the sake of comfort. Being too nice comes at a great cost: the loss of respect, the erosion of confidence, and the slow death of ambition. It leads to resentment in relationships, stagnation in careers, and frustration in life. A man who is too nice does not command admiration. He is tolerated at best and forgotten at worst. But a man who is truly good, who leads with wisdom, strength, and conviction, leaves a lasting impact. This is not a call to cruelty. This is not an excuse to be selfish, reckless, or unkind. It is a call to strength, a call to abandon the fear of disapproval and step into the role of a true leader, to stop seeking validation and start demanding respect, to stop being passive and start taking control of your own life. So rise up, walk boldly, speak with authority, lead with wisdom. Do not waste another day trying to be nice in the hopes of being loved. Instead, be strong, be good, and be a man worthy of honor. Because the world does not remember men who were merely nice. It remembers men who had the courage to stand firm, to lead, and to live with purpose.